So I'm Michael Mutchler. My wife is Diane Mutchler. Yeah, we kind of have a yours, mine, and ours situation going on. I brought 2 with me that I share with my ex-wife. And then she brought 3 with her that I had the opportunity to adopt. And then we had 2 together. So it's a chaotic, beautiful mess. So my wife and I were in marriage counseling, and it came up that a bunch of the difficulties we were having between each other was produced by managing the family and the stresses that involved. So they're like, have you considered family counseling, particularly in-home family counselor, right? And he recommended Families First.
The difference between Families First and in talk therapy, generally the clients go to the therapist's office, so it's in an office setting. And in Families First, we go to the family's home. And so it's a much more natural setting with much more natural behaviors, right? We get to see the family in their natural element. We get to see their home and how they interact and what their routines and schedules are and just their more natural personalities. I would say that another difference is the intensity of the program. In talk therapy, generally that's about a 50 to 60 minute session once a week, generally. And Families First is approximately about a 12-week program that is 3 to 4 visits a week for about 2 hours each. So in Families First, we meet with families for approximately 8 hours a week.
At the time, we looked into it and we were excited about the program, and then we found out that it would cost us $6,000. And we were like, whoa, I don't know if we can do that. So we just tried to make it work with the marriage counseling, and we brought some of the kids to counseling as well to kind of address kind of some particularly problematic issues. But yeah, we had a hard time taking Families First really seriously because of that $6,000 hurdle. And then later, when things continued to degrade because we weren't kind of getting the help we needed, it became more obvious that we needed something a lot more intensive. So we decided, okay, we had the Families First in the back of our mind. And we were like, all right, we're just gonna have to. Like, it degraded quite a lot. We had a suicide attempt in our family, and at that point we were able to identify that something drastic needs to happen. There are literally lives at stake now.
It was only Diane and Michael that I met initially. The kids were depressed. I should say they wouldn't come out of their room at all. They weren't connecting at all. They were really disconnected within each other, I feel like. So they really didn't have a relationship maintained. And then they were just talking about all the issues they had. Michael seemed sad because he felt like the kids weren't close to him. He was having a hard time connecting with them, so they all looked really down. Everybody was quiet. They weren't even talking to each other. Like, we're just here because we have to.
If we would have recognized between that moment of marriage counseling to it degrading along that way before the suicide attempt, that would have made a huge difference. Unfortunately, we waited quite long until we decided to meet with you guys. In retrospect, we should not have waited that long. And kind of managing all those details and figuring out that yes, it's time was the hardest part for me. I would say the hardest part for the rest of the family, probably. It was the role play. So humans learn really well through repetition and practice. And the more plugged in the practice can be, the better. And really that kind of boils down to coming up with a situation and saying, let's pretend like we're in this situation, and you almost act it out, right? That's the big scary word, role play. I didn't know if the kids were gonna go for it. When we started doing it, it was very uncomfortable and weird, and we felt very outside of our comfort zone. But because we muscled through it, and we said, you know what, fake it till you make it almost, our brains got the benefit of that repetition and that practice. And then once the teens started to participate, that sense of hope came back. And that was huge. That was everything. Things will degrade, right? And then they'll kind of fall off a cliff almost, because you're like, well, the hope is gone. And then it's just almost a plummet, it feels like, right? I don't know where to go. So we were getting the tools, and and the kids were participating and they seemed to take it seriously, and that was huge. So hope came back. And the trajectory went from downward to upward, because like now we know where to go, we have these tools, we've got the kids on board. Like let's pedal to the metal and climb out of this hole.
And honestly, by the end, the kids were out of their rooms at least 2 hours a day, right?
They were out often, hanging out in the kitchen.
Just being around voluntarily without being incentivized.
Yeah. Well, they put it into practice, because talking about something, I mean, you can keep it in the back of your head, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, but most of the time that doesn't help because you're not putting action into it. But actually putting action into it, it like stays stuck in your brain. You're just like, oh, that's right, I already practiced this, instead of just hearing about it.
And they built a grounds with us that everybody knows kind of what to expect from the other. Like a good example would be the accepting decisions of authority tool, right? So Peyton didn't know how to do that, and we didn't know how to support that either. So we sat down, we talked, right? We established tools and we practiced the tools. So now she knows what to expect from us, we know what to expect from her, and that's a huge comfort that everybody's on the same page, right? So we can kind of help each other. Okay, let's use our tools, right? And because that dynamic's in place, Peyton has done a wonderful job with her goals. We'll have feedback for her, and she'll accept it, and then later she'll approach us and say, I feel this way about the feedback, and we can have a good conversation about it and find compromises. That was not the case before.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it's like easier obviously now, but the family's like changed in a way.
It got, before it was like more awkward and like less comfortable to tell them things, but now it's like less awkward and like I'm more comfortable telling you stuff.
And the kids were so excited that they could voice their opinions and their parents would actually listen to them. And I think that's one of the huge changes that happened was parents started listening to understand rather than listening to govern, I'd say. And so Lucas and Peyton really loved that. Like, wow, they're actually listening to us. And that led to the family going on walks together, just playing games together, all kinds of things. And I think it was that giving and receiving feedback that really made a difference.
They told us about a scholarship program. I was like, what are you talking about? And apparently they had very, very generous donors that would offer money to the program so that people like us could participate in the program. Thank you, like huge thank you. This program has been monumental for our family, and the fact that we didn't have to climb over a $6,000 hurdle to make it happen is enormous. So for all the donors out there who are willing to contribute to this program, it makes a huge difference, night and day difference, and I just couldn't be more thankful. And I know my family feels the same way.